Hello and welcome to another episode of History with Andy Ackright. I'm Andy Ackright. Today I am in Garden Grove, Iowa, which is home to the first waypoint, or the first temporary settlement on the Mormon Trail. The Mormon Trail went from Nauvoo, Illinois, all the way down to Salt Lake City. It was the biggest migration in American history, 70,000 people, and it was the first trail to be recognized by the government. You have the Oregon, California, Santa Fe trails, but the Mormon Trail is the first one recognized. Now this historic site, the Mormon settlement, was settled April 25th, 1846 by Colonel Stephen Markham and his group. Now his group came along and they had the maps and guides to get to Salt Lake City, or over the Rocky Mountains. It wasn't Salt Lake City then, but over the Rocky Mountains. But let's go back. It all started back with Jesus. Jesus is crucified, and in the faith of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the 12 apostles are killed. So the truth of Jesus Christ's life is gone. Now you have to translate all the way to the 1800s, and you're in New York, and you have a 14-year-old boy, Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith's parents are of different faiths, and he's wondering which faith is right, what's the truth. And he reads in James chapter 1 verse 5, those who do not know ask the Lord. So he asks the Lord, he's praying, and he sees a vision of God and Jesus. Well, 3 years later, a vision, an angel from heaven comes down and tells him, or gives him, these golden tablets. These golden tablets were written by ancient prophets that lived in the Americas. And they wrote down the story of Jesus. And that is the Book of Mormon. So that is where the Book of Mormon comes. Joseph Smith was given the ability to translate it because it was not in English. He was given the ability to translate it, and he translated it, and he started it. He also prayed about baptism, and he was visited by John the Baptist, and was given the power to baptize in the power of God. So he starts the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 1830. Now, people didn't like things that were different, so they started persecuting. And the church and followers then start having to move to Ohio and then Illinois. So they are settling in Nauvoo, Illinois, 1839. In 1844, Joseph Smith is executed, and his next in line, Brigham Young, takes over. Brigham Young, you might be familiar with Brigham Young University, BYU. That's where he comes from. So Brigham Young is the second leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and then they are persecuted again, and in 1846 they start moving towards Utah, right? Joseph Smith had these maps, they start moving. Now 144 miles from Nauvoo, where they started, is right here in Iowa, okay? Just south of Des Moines. Okay, so we are here south of Des Moines, and what they did, they came, and in just a couple weeks they created a camp, cabins, dug wells, got fences up, planted crops, had timber for other more houses and everything, so those on their journey could rest. Now here's an example of a house, an outline. You can see right here there's no grass, that's the door. There would be 2 rooms, there'd be 2 chimneys. There'd be a chimney here on the side that doesn't have a door, and a chimney here, to try and keep people from the cold of Iowa. because it can get pretty chilly here. And then you had cabins that expanded, and they kept expanding and keeping the people, right? Now the Mormon Trail is approximately 1,300 miles, so they had a long ways to go. And this was the very first waypoint, the very first temporary settlement. So you needed to rest a couple days, they had this for you. It didn't last the entire time. It lasted until 1851. The trail and the movement lasted till 1869. So here is the Mormon Trail. Those of the members who did not make it were buried on just the other side of those trees there in what is now the Trailside Historical Park, the Mormon Cemetery. It's marked with just a generic marker that says, talks about those who did not make the journey. Now, the church is not the Mormon Church. So anytime I've said that, it's incorrect. The church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the members of that church are called saints. Okay? That's not Mormons. It's not the Mormon Church. It is the Book of Mormon. And the Mormon Trail is still okay because it's a proper name. But the church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Formed in 1830 by Joseph Smith. Then in 1846, this great migration, the Mormon Pioneer Trail, moves all the way across from Nauvoo, Illinois, all the way across Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah. You can't see much of the trails still, except for in Wyoming. Wyoming has a lot of evidence of the trails still there. And then they ended up in Utah, and it was a deserted place, but they made it what it is today. And that is why the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is in Utah. Hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you next time.